Easily the most common question I've been asked over the last week during streams is, have I seen Final Destination Bloodlines, and if so, did I like it? The answer to both those questions is yes, and I am shocked by how many times people have asked me. I'm pretty sure I've been getting asked that question more times than people ask Grok to explain a tweet to them. Not that it bothers me or anything, I'm just kind of surprised, because I didn't plan on reviewing it. It was a movie I liked, I had a great time, it was refreshing, it was simple, it was fun, but I just don't have a whole lot to say about it. It's just a good movie, and it's exactly what you want for a Final Destination film. I'm just kind of surprised is all, so I'll go ahead and give you my thoughts on the film. It's a very rare case where Hollywood desperation leads them to dust off an old franchise and try and polish it up for the modern version, and it's not trash. That doesn't happen often. Usually, when they try and revive a franchise that's been dormant for a long time, they give you this frankenfuck of nonsense that nobody wants. It pleases not only no fans, but no modern audience that they're trying to capture either, and just usually ends in disaster. That is not the case with Final Destination Bloodlines. It knows exactly what it needed to be. A self-aware gore fest that's very creative with its kills and gives you just enough story to get you from point A to point B to have you care to a certain extent. You never really care that much about the characters because you don't get a whole lot of meat with them. You're never going to be like overly sentimental where you're like on bated breath hoping, praying that that character doesn't meet an unfortunate fate. Like, it's not like an ASPCA commercial that's pulling on your heartstrings watching these characters and really hoping that things are working out. But it's enough where you want to see them maybe overcome death. So the whole story you basically get in the trailer. This lady had a premonition a long time ago while at a restaurant that, is about to just fucking blow up. Everyone was going to die. It was going to be a huge catastrophe. She had the premonition. She stopped it, saving all those lives. And death, well, he doesn't like to be cheated like that. So over the last few decades, he's been killing everyone that was saved by her and also any family they may have had because they shouldn't have been born. And now we follow that extended family. The woman who had that premonition is now a grandmother, and she's like isolated herself from society, trying to like keep her family safe and understand how to, beat death in this arm wrestling match that they've been engaged in for so long. That's basically the entire story in a nutshell. It's them trying not to die. If you've seen Final Destination, you know exactly how this goes, which is a good thing. That's not a complaint at all. I am happy they didn't try and reinvent the condom with this. It works really well, and what it does very, very strongly. The creativity in these kills and the way that it like plays with your expectations as a viewer. Like, there are times where there's a character who's like mixed up in what looks to be a fatal situation where it's getting like all fucking crazy and out of control, like a Rube Goldberg machine of death, and it's constantly like toying with you about like what's gonna happen next. Well, how is he gonna die? Wait, will he die? Is she going to meet a fate right here? Like, it's really well done. It's just so creative that it keeps you like hooked on it. Because it's hard to predict like how the disaster is going to unfold, even though you know it's coming because they're setting you up for it. Like, there's in the very opening scene, like a penny gets thrown by a kid, and somehow that penny leads to fucking mangled corpses and all kinds of shit. It's just, I really appreciated how over the top they got with it and how elaborate they set it up. They did an extraordinary job in that department. The most important department for this movie, creative deaths. Because that's what it's really all about for Final Destination's Bloodlines. That's exactly what it needed to be. Now, I don't think that it's always great with the deaths. I think there was this over-reliance on just having things fall on people, like spontaneously having something fall and crush someone. That happened quite a bit, just like smashing someone to pieces randomly. I think that was a little overused. And I think in some cases it was used as more of like a joke or a gag. But that does happen quite a bit. I would have liked to see them, continue to flex their Imagineering muscles to come up with more fun, less obvious ways to kill somebody there. But it's not that big of a deal. The only thing that I actually just didn't like that much, and this is a big spoiler, so spoiler warning. Alright, spoiler warning's done. I didn't really like the ending. Like, the very end of the movie, I wasn't super, enthusiastic about. And it's not because I think that it needs a happy ending or anything. I would never expect that from Final Destination, really. But I just didn't like the way they did it. It just felt kind of lazy, like a little too cheesy. And it's a movie that's very self-aware. Like, obviously, they know what they're doing with the ending here, where, you know, they thought they beat death, outsmarted it, but turns out not quite. And then, all of a sudden, our main character and her brother, they're now running away from a train that's derailed, that's coming right at them. They're running away as best they can. They get away, it seems, and then all of a sudden, two logs come and just smash them. And it's like, okay, I get it. That is silly. But to me, it's just almost a little too silly in that context there, if that makes sense. I feel like there was a couple options. They could have tied it back to what the grandmother said at the very beginning of the film, where she was like, perhaps my gift of premonition passed on to you. I thought that's where they were going, where that scene after they get smashed would be a premonition she has, and then she prevented that, and then it starts the cycle of death all over again to get death on their trail. I feel like that could have been a good option, but another option they had is just make it a more creative death at the end. If they're still on the hook, instead of just having it once again be this spontaneous smashing, I would really rather they not do that and instead make it another elaborate, fun, creative one. You know what I mean? So I just felt like a little deflated with the way that it wrapped up at the very end there. But it's not that big of a deal. Again, it's not a huge complaint or anything. This was a movie that was a lot of fun. It knew exactly what it needed to do, and it did exactly what it needed to do well. So yeah, anyway, good movie. That's about it. See ya.